Welcome to Message Reveal. Message Reveal identifies a vibe, a message, or a story told through lyrics of a song. And you guys, if you rock with me every Monday, you know how I do this. My guests, I tell you a few things that they're associated with before we get started. So let me tell you about this beautiful young lady that I met. One, she is from Trenton, New Jersey, and I hope I said it right. I'm going to find out if she needs to correct me. Number two, she provides, and I want to get it right, sound vibration services, and we can't wait to find out more about that. And last but not least, she loves to sing. So you guys, please put your hands together and welcome my new friend. Her name is Renisha O'Donnell, but I'm going to call her Niche or Nisha, Niche. You guys, please put your hands together and welcome her. Yay. Hello, my friend.
Hi, Hallema. Thank you for that warm welcome. I appreciate it.
You are more than welcome, and you're definitely deserving of it. That's the energy I received when I first met you. So I'm just outward with mine. I know you're a little bit more quiet, but that's okay. We're going to have a good time.
Yes. Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm Renisha O'Donnell or Nish. And yes, you said it right, Trenton. Like when you leave the T out, that's how we do it. We don't say Trenton. Trenton, New Jersey. Yeah.
We're good. We're good. I'm glad that I said it correctly. So any of my guests that come on, first, I have to say thank you. I'm so appreciative of you saying yes to me because you could have been anywhere giving your time and you said yes to me. So I appreciate you. And with that being said, can you, and I ask all my guests this, can you tell me what makes you tick? What makes you move that gets you up in the morning?
What gets me up in the morning is gratitude. Um, I really try to, when I open my eyes, it's natural for our minds to start to wander, like, what do we have to do for the day? And I consistently stop myself and say, let me just give gratitude for several things, waking up, breath in my body, being able to move, and and then I can start my day. And I really think the thing that keeps me motivated is knowing that I'm going to engage with beautiful people and be able to share, whatever it is that I'm planning to share that day. I often just trust in the divine timing of a lot of things. And it's often that I'm at the right place at the right time, meeting the right person, having the right conversation. And so I just trust that all of that happens, and it's just right. It's the right thing. So I usually say I'm, good morning, and I'm excited to see what adventures, today will have. So
I love that. As you were talking, one word that really stands out that you said, I trust that I'm in the right place in the right time. And I think when you execute that energy and stand on it,
Mhm.
this is the results of what we're talking about right now. I love it. I love it. So before we get started, tell me a little bit of your transition here, because I know you've been in Las Vegas for 15 years. What was the catalyst for you to come to my home place, born and raised Las Vegas, and how have you enjoyed your journey?
So Vegas was not my first choice. And at the time I was married and living in Jersey, and my husband at the time was like, you know what, we're gonna move to Vegas. And I was like, no, no. It's dusty out there. Like, I'm a Jersey girl. I like my trees and grass and allergies that come with it. Um, And but you make that transition and you step out on faith and have a new adventure for life. And it was really challenging for me in the very beginning, like very challenging for me to get used to the environment. It's just, I at the time I had locks. I was probably rocking my long skirts and just and I had to acclimate to what's going on here in Las Vegas. And it has the journey, it was a tough transition in the beginning. I really had to connect to community, which is one of the things that I think gives us strength to get through anything, is is getting with a community that you believe in, that you can draw strength from. And so I had to get in community, and then as well as I found an amazing job out here. So the employment, it fueled me. I did some volunteer work and I was like, oh, okay, like I could be in Vegas. This is, because I was working in social services and doing community work. So I was like, oh, okay, there's something for me to do here. And so I've told this story to friends before, but I had a goal. I was like, if I do not find a job by December 1st, that was my goal. I was like,
Wow.
I'm going back to Jersey. I'm not about to be here forever. And I said, I need to have a job where I'm in a managerial position because of my experience, making this specific amount of money. And I was like, and if it does not happen by December 1st, I'm leaving. That's just kind of, I said, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna put all my effort into finding employment. And so I did. And I interviewed at an organization, and it was the third interview. And they finally called me back and they said, hey, we want to offer you this position and your start date is December 1st. I was like,
Wow. Now, wait a minute. I got to pause. You talking to somebody that may be giving up because they don't see it,
yeah.
not because it's not growing. It's like the plant that's at the bottom. You don't see anything coming up out the dirt, but it's working. It's working for your good.
Hmm.
You're talking to somebody.
Yes. I mean, and it was like divine, like the light, It's like December 1st it is. And I said, okay,
Wow.
this is where I'm supposed to be, you
Wow.
know, and I've been here for 15 years.
That is powerful, truly powerful. On the exact date you said, it
Yes.
executed. Also, we need to acknowledge the power of the tongue has
Yes.
life and death. And we have to be very aware of our words, which is our sound frequency,
Yes.
how it goes out and comes back. It's a boomerang effect.
Yes.
And that's exactly what you did. That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that story. With that being said, do you have any regrets or you know for sure?
No, this is where this part of my life, this time in my life, this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm on a new adventure to be more mobile and have more flexibility and work remote so that I can travel back east a little more and visit family. But I know. And every time I even thought about leaving Las Vegas, something would happen. And I was like, oh, nope, I'm not done yet. This is where I'm supposed to be. So,
I'm glad that you're in tune with yourself and you can look at the signs because we all get messages, hint, hint, message revealed. And we all get messages to tap in, to see, and to work with. Sometimes we're distracted and we don't always get it.
mhm.
So I'm thankful that you're here because I would not have the opportunity to interact with you or know you. So thank you.
And what you
So
said about the sound, I mean, it's just so powerful, the things that we say and how they manifest in our lives. And it's often, I always say our bodies and the universe doesn't know who we're talking about. It just hears and feels what the words that we're saying. So even if you're talking about somebody else negatively, the universe is like, oh, that's what you want? Okay.
Ooh, that's powerful.
So you do have to be careful. You have to be careful what you say.
Wow, that's powerful. The people in the pew way, way, way up in the back and the ones right here, I hope y'all got that message because I also received it as well. Thank you for that powerful information. With that being said, I just really want to find out who you are. You're very open, but you're mysterious to me. And you're laughing. You must have heard that before. And I say that in a good way. Can you take me back? And typically, I don't ask this question if you look at my interviews, but the spirit is giving this to me. How were you raised? Take me back and tell me a little bit about your family and your viewpoint on life as a child.
Sure. Thank you so much for that question. So growing up, I grew up in a two-parent household. My mother and father both worked and, provided my sister and I with, everything that we needed. And so it was myself and my sister, who is 10 years older than me and has autism. So I grew up as a sibling of, someone with autism, and that was our age difference made it a challenge. And just in general, I think that I tapped into learning empathy and compassion at a very, very young age. And so it was a beautiful experience. Obviously, all life has its ups and downs and challenges, and I I think through that is like where I developed my love of music, and that really was my outlet. So there would be times that I would just listen to music, listen to a record or, my little cassette. And I would sing, and so I had all these little things that I would do, but I do think that it came from expression, like wanting to express myself and knowing that the needs of my sister, you know I was asked to help support in some of those needs, so I became a caregiver
Mm-hmm.
uh, at a very, very young age. And i I actually learned sign language when I was young, because my sister used sign language to communicate. So my parents actually sent me to school to learn sign language. So I tell people sometimes, I'm like, when I'm thinking, I learned Spanish in high school, but I'm not fluent. But when I think about things, I think about them in terms of sign language, because I did study it throughout, my life at different periods of time. I would not call myself bilingual in any way. I would just say that I can communicate on a basic level. But yeah, so I think I developed a lot of different skills. I was the talkative one. My mother and family tell stories of me just like at 2 years old, speaking full sentences, just, being very social. I was the one that you say, don't talk to strangers. I didn't really understand those boundaries. Not just talking to anybody, so I was very friendly. And I think it's because, my sister would go to different classes, and my mom would bring me along. So she had like a dance therapy class. And I loved being like the little sibling in the class. So I think that's how I developed. But I also developed this observation, to sit and observe and listen and soak things in, and very in touch with my emotions as a child. So, crying was like, oh, it was something. If I'm sad, I'm gonna that's just the way I express. So I think music gave me that outlet. It gave me the ability to express.
Yes. I'm really glad that you shared that because when I met you right away, it was like two different energies. I do everything based off of energy, even though I have a conversation, I'm feeling and I'm processing. And when I met you, I got this interaction like extrovert, like you're out. And then as I was leaving, the spirit was like, she can be an introvert as well. And I was like, okay. I said, well, maybe I'm confusing the things. So now that you've kind of given me a landscape of your story, now I see it's both.
Yes, it is both. It is, and it's often that I tap into either one, just depending on the energy in the space in the room. But I definitely have that outgoingness, and then I have that observation. Well, I contemplate, and I just say that I'm more mindful. I take my time to craft my words, and so it can be mistaken for disinterested. I've had people be like, you just nonchalant. We can't read you. We don't know. I'm like, I am processing. I'm taking it in, and I don't want to react. I prefer to respond. And I think I learned that in childhood, that responding is the best way.
I like how simple you said that, but it's so powerful. I don't want to react. I want to respond.
Mhm.
That's a part of now the new word is I forget they're talking about intelligence. What's the buzzword to go? Emotional intelligence, which to be truthful, I've always exhibited that because I worked around people
Mhm.
that may not always look like me. And if I reacted the way I would normally react, they will pull back. And a part of emotional intelligence is knowing how to execute it when it needs to be. And also, my perspective, this is just my perspective, also having a place, meaning home or amongst family, where you can release totally. Because there's a lot of people that are in certain places, they don't know how to come back to who they are, center themselves, and say, okay,
Mhm. Or they say letting your hair down, right?
that part, I like that. Yes. So I love that you said that. Again, the people on the pew, they high fiving me. You may not see them, but I hear them.
I love that.
So let's talk about the beautiful picture in the background. I know you and I talked about it before,
Mhm.
but it really draws me in, and I'm pretty sure it also draws in my viewers of this beautiful lady with a hue like mine on the guitar. Do you play? And what draws you to this particular background?
So I did learn to play, and this background is actually a tapestry that's on my wall, in my guest bedroom slash office slash music space. And my aunt sent it to me when I moved into this house. I bought this house that I live in currently, in January of 2020. And my aunt sent me this as a housewarming gift. She said she saw it, and she thought of me, and so she sent it to me. So I have it up, and then I put it as the background for my Zoom. But
Oh,
yeah, so I took guitar lessons. So like musical theater, I've danced, I've done all of these things through my life, as starting young. And I took guitar lessons when I was probably about 10. I convinced my dad to get me a guitar and send me to guitar lessons, and he did. And if you knew back then, I thought I was gonna be the first Black country like woman in country music. I was like, I'm gonna play country music. And I don't know. I think I was listening because I listened to all kinds of music, and heard some country music. I was like, I want to play a guitar. I want to sing country music. And my dad was like, okay, okay. But at the time, there was a country artist. His name was Charlie Pride. It was a Black man,
okay.
And so he was like the only country artist at the time. And I was like, I'm gonna be like him and I'm gonna play this guitar. And my dad introduced me to blues music, and I was like, okay, now I'm gonna do blues music. Whatever was infused with the guitar and singing is really where is what I loved, and still do.
I think that's great. We all like to have a variety, and it sounds like once you heard something else, that was your next variety. But I think you brought up something that was really important, and I wasn't expecting that about country music. It's kind of, I don't know if you are aware, Beyonce has made her a country music song. And of course, that brings a little bit of controversy. And I'm not here to weigh in. I'm
Mhm.
simply here to say that country music is based off of us.
Yeah.
Charlie Pride may have been one of the first ones, but it still comes from us.
Absolutely.
And so many times people don't know about it. And I'm taking it somewhere. I happen to see, do you know who T-Pain is?
Mhm.
I happen to hear a IG where a group of people were discussing the fact that he has wrote multiple country western songs, and he has
Mhm.
done it under a different name because he did not want to be discriminated against, because if they found out it was him, they would not buy it, they would not support it. And the people that were talking about it was a Caucasian man and woman. But the part is really sad that we are basing what we see instead of ingesting what we feel. Like, you try to spirit by the spirit. That's how it works. I don't care what it looks like. If it can look like this, if it's not right, I'm not playing with it. So, what do you think about that perspective with country music, and how people have viewed it, that it is only relegated to one particular hue?
Yeah. So I think that is something that has perplexed me, just growing up and understanding music and how it can speak to your heart and soul, um and that all music, not all music, but country music, rock and roll is a derivative of blues. It is. And when I learned that, at 10 or 12 years old, I was like, "Oh, it really now doesn't make sense that it's not okay." Society says it's not okay. If you look a certain way, you have to sing a certain way, you have to play a certain music, you can't, but this music is not for you. And I could never understand, well, this music is not for me, but yet that particular group of people can do any music they want to do, whether they look traditionally like the where that music comes from or not. And I really never accepted that. And it it's a shame that it's 2024, and there's still it's still not a mainstream country artist, because again, it's from blues. It comes from us. That there's not a mainstream person that can just say, yes, I'm a country artist. Um, there is a woman by the name of Valerie June. I don't know if you're familiar with her.
Yes, she was with the, what group was she with?
So I only know her as an independent artist,
Okay, okay.
but she sings like bluegrass music, which is a little bit deeper, in the in between the country blues genre, and I just love her because she's like, I am me. I'm
That
from
part.
She's from the South. She's like, this is what I love playing my guitar. I love singing my songs. And she has such a unique voice. And it's just beautiful to see. So I've always celebrated anytime I can see, artists who look like me playing guitar, Darius Rucker, India Irie, anybody that has a singer-songwriter, like that's just who I really admire.
I love it. Thank you for weighing in on that. I always try to keep it positive, but I think it's something that needs to be acknowledged only because we have so many great people and they have been tucked in the corner. And I believe now more people will come out. Now, we know our babies, they don't care. They gonna go do it and they be like, if you don't like it, oh well.
Yep.
But we still need to acknowledge that it is greatness in the diversity in words, in singing, in implementing what we do, what we showcase. We have to have that diversity because it will be some baby that's coming up and they will be gravitating to that particular thing. And we don't want anybody to say, you can't do that because you don't look like that, or you can't do that because it's not R&B. We want them to be able to go where their heart desire.
Yes. And
So
I that's all we could ever hope for, because I was told I couldn't do certain things because, of how I look. So, and I'm sure you've had some experiences too, whether it's through music or something else, but you just, we don't want to perpetuate that.
no, I agree. And we're the examples that keep going. Don't let nobody tell you anything. And you might not do it as forceful as I am because I have that with or without you energy. I would love for you to do it with me, but I'm still going to do it without you.
I love
So
it.
anyway, so let's get in. We talked about music, we talked about where you were born, we talked about perspective, but let's get a little bit deeper in music. Like music, woo, it has turned me all the way out. I just love everything about it. It can help me change my mood when I need to. It can help me have a stronger bond with someone. I mean, it's layers and layers and layers and layers, and truly, there's no end to it. I say all that to say, can you identify a song that has either blessed you, has given you perspective, or distracted you? But before you answer the question, there are rules to this process, honey. If you can sing, I need you to sing your throw box out. If you can rap, I need you to come hard in the paint. But if you cannot do either one, I need you to say it with passion, with heart, and we need to be able to feel it here. You know how they say stand 10 toes down? That's what I need you to do. So I'll go back to my original question. Can you identify a song that blessed you or distracted you or provided perspective?
So for me, I think that song is Video by India. And so, you put me on the spot, so I gotta sing it.
If you don't want to sing it, you could just say the words. I mean, that's why I give three options.
So, so the words. So I was torn between two songs that she has. One is I Choose, which is it's a good song
You
too.
can do both if you like.
Okay. But I wanna say the words to Video. I'll sing a little bit. I'll sing a little bit. Look. um so the very first lines to her song are, sometimes I shave my legs and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I comb my hair and sometimes I won't. Depend on how the wind blows, I might even paint my toes. It really just depends on whatever feels good to my soul. So I love that. Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you. I love this song because at the time, so I was thinking about this album. Her first album came out in 2001 when I was in college. I was a music major in college, um and this song, just her playing the guitar, just with her locks, like she was just like, this is me, this is how I am, you are accepted, you're gonna love me or not. And so this song, the rest of the lyrics are well, the chorus is not, I'm not your average girl from the video. I ain't built like a supermodel. I learned to love myself unconditionally because I'm a queen. And my worth is not determined by the price of my clothes. No matter where I'm wearing, I'll always be India Ari. So I really, really resonated with that song because I was in college. I was wearing little bell bottom. Look, I thought I was in the 70s. I had bell bottoms. I had an afro, my natural hair, a little band, so I was like, yeah, I'm out here just doing me, feeling myself, being little bit, a little, just free.
Yes.
And I just really loved that song, and it really helped me to get a deeper love, deeper self-love. So
I love that you mentioned India Irie. You're the second person. You make me think about my girlfriend, Deshonda in Atlanta. She has a podcast as well called Free to Fly. And she mentioned India Irie. So I love India Irie. We have to have examples of different, we are not robots,
nope.
even though they're creating a lot that just everybody does the same thing the same way. I can't be you and you can't be me, but what we can be is ourselves so we can show the world that guess what? It's 7 lanes in the row. 7 is my favorite number. And you may go where you feel love, where it works for you. Like you mentioned at the very beginning of the podcast, you have to find community. I call it village. So you know where you feel the love. And I think that's so necessary. So thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. And again, shout out to my sister. She's Free to Fly podcast. So with that being said, let's talk about the elephant in the room. And I'll say it in a good way. You know where I'm going?
I don't. I was like, "Ooh, what's the elephant?" Tell me.
It's been in the room, but I didn't want to start with that.
Okay.
From the moment I met you and you told me the work you were doing with the sound vibration,
Mhm.
I can't wait to hear your perspective. What was the catalyst for you to even tap into this? I call it natural part of who we are. But can you just share whatever you want to with us? But first, tell us what was the catalyst for it.
So, growing up, I, wanted to be a music therapist because, I'm good with people. People, feel comfortable connecting with me. And so when I was exiting high school, I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. But I ended up going to school for music education. And I said, well, I'll go this route and I'll make my way to music therapy somehow. I didn't, and so I got a degree in sociology because music was, I was like, oh, this is challenging. So I got a degree in sociology. And then I went and got a master's in school counseling. So I'm like, oh, listen, this is how I'm gonna get to my music therapy, right? And so just through the years, I've done different, I've had different roles within employment, and I was about 5 years ago, I was introduced to a sound bath, and I was like, oh, this is it. This is it right here. So it was a beautiful experience to have someone playing different instruments and these crystal bowls and creating this meditative environment where you literally could just relax and allow those sound waves to just wash over you. And I was like, I really love this. And so I enjoyed going. And as I was seeking something to bring me comfort in a difficult time in 2021, I said, I really, let me look a little bit deeper into what the sound bath is, and how it all works. And so between 2020 and 2021, I started doing a little more research and just understanding that, like our bodies are, everything is vibrating around us and our bodies are vibrating at a specific frequency, and all of our energy centers are spinning and also vibrating at a certain frequency, and how it connects to our well-being. I was like, this is incredibly beautiful. And so I decided to dive a little deeper, and I went and got certified to as a sound vibrational therapy practitioner. And so I was like, oh, this is it. This is it. So it's not necessarily music therapy, because sound doesn't have to have the a melodic, you know, uh, sequence in order for it to impact us. And so that's really how I got into it. So
Oh, what a journey. It's funny how we seek to do something else and
mhm,
we end up going on a path that is connected to it. That's why I tell people sometimes you have to start. It may not always look like what you think it would do,
mhm,
but look at you. Who would have thought that you would have been a, you are a you offer these services in
mhm.
sound elevation for mind, body, and soul, correct?
Yes. And so I can, just talk a little bit about that. So the services are different depending on, what's going on in the group setting. Typically, it's a sound bath, which is just an opportunity for folks to come together. You're laying or sitting, whatever's comfortable, and I use these crystal bowls. There's seven. There's seven.
Our
That's your
favorite.
that's your number. There's seven that each of them are connected to a music note as well as a frequency and an energy center or chakra. And so as I play these bowls, it's almost like if you've ever seen, someone with a glass of water and then they put their finger around the rim. So that's how, and the sound that can come from that. So that's what these bowls are designed to do. And so play these crystal bowls and create this experience. And what we know about sound is that our bodies want to resonate with the sound that is around us. So the frequency that's around us, whether it's somebody else's energy or whether it's a sound that we hear, our body is trying to emulate that. It's a term called entrainment, where your
Oh,
body,
wait, say that again.
term is called entrainment. So it's when something is vibrating here and this other thing also wants to vibrate at the same frequency. And so so I offer this as a group setting. I've had, people bring me to their home for, they're having a gathering with friends and they just want a relaxation experience. I also offer what like opening and closing for meetings. So it's nice to have like a grounding when you're starting a meeting or a group session with your team, for employers. And so I can do, opening where I'm, having people tap into their breathing, and I use a chime that just brings people into a grounded space. And we can close a meeting out that way as well. And then personal sessions where not only am I using the crystal bowls and chimes, I use tuning forks. So tuning forks, they our energy exceeds our body. So our energy, they say, can be 6 foot or further from your body. That's why you can feel people come close to you. You can feel it, or people say, "Oh, I felt you when you entered the room." It's your energy precedes your physical body. And tuning forks can be used in the energetic space, right above your body, and those different frequencies will help your body basically realign itself. And so it's called sound healing. But I always tell people, I say sound journeys because healing is a journey. I cannot heal. like your body can heal itself through these different experiences. But so that's why I call it sound and vibrational journeys.
I love that. I love that you said that. That was some really good information that I needed to know, and I'm pretty sure the audience need to know as well. Can you share a particular story where you either did tuning forks or you did a sound bath and maybe not right away, but someone came back to you and was able to say, hey, this is what happened to me, or now I'm doing this different because of those sessions?
Yes. So the most common thing that I hear from folks after a session, whether it's a day after, a week after, a month after, is that it has helped improve their sleep. So these it's often that people fall asleep during the session because your body gets in such a state of relaxation that you drift off into a light sleep. It's not you don't go deep. Some people go deep. When I hear people snoring, I'm like, oh, I did it. I did it. I hear a snore. I did it.
You
So
knocked them out.
yes.
Oh,
I do tell people sometimes at the beginning of the session, if I hear you snoring, I might pinch your toe to wake you up. But yes, that improve their sleep. They're like, I slept the best sleep I ever had was after that sound bath. And so there's so many benefits to it, but that's the number one thing that I hear is that sleep was improved.
that's amazing. I know that people talk about the pyramids, but one of the things that it also offered, and I think you and I had this discussion, that it was a place to go and rejuvenate yourself with sound. They knew the secret, you know, hidden things that, again, you talk about you talked about a certain frequency. I say this: whatever you do frequently becomes your frequency.
Come on. Okay. Okay. Okay.
So those people that would go and use those, whether they use your services or eons ago, they would remain vibrant. They would have the youthful appearance because remember, they remain on that frequency. Whatever you do,
Mhm.
that's your frequency. So I would encourage anybody that can hear this, that's watching this episode, even if you're not sure of this process, check it out with her. She has again, this is me meeting her from the first time I met her. I was like, ooh, I like her. She has a really calm spirit about her, but she's also inviting. So I would encourage you guys to tap in with her. And at the very end, I'll allow you to provide all the contact information. So if they say, you know what, I want to reach out, I want to be a part. And I'm telling everybody about that. You and I are going to do, I want to come to one of your sessions so I can have some of that happen for me. So let's get back into our lane of music, even though we never left, but we're getting back into it in a different way. And I say that because can you identify a song that you sung as a child? I mean, you was getting it, and then you became adult, and you was like, wait,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
That's what
And I would get in trouble for singing the song. And I really would argue with my mother. And I was like maybe 8 years old. And I was walking around the house swearing. Now, mind you, I went to dancing school. So I was like, but private dancer. By
Ooh, Tina Turner. Ooh.
I was in my house like, I'm a private dancer for money. So my mother would be like, no, no,
Okay,
no,
and
you're
then
not.
the words, like she said, do what you want me to do.
Yes. So I really thought, I was like, but I am a dancer. She's like, "Mm-mm, don't sing that song." I said, "But I'm a dancer, and when I grow up, they're gonna pay me money to dance." The
Oh
dramatic
my.
the dramatics.
But that's what music is. One is each person perspective. She had a little bit more knowledge and wisdom, so she knew what it was. But
Yeah,
from the pureness of your heart, you just knew you was gonna be that dancer, right?
like, "Look at me. This is what I do." She's like, "No, no, don't sing that song." I'm like, "Yes,
Oh
I
my.
will. I will sing that song."
So how old were you, or in that moment did you understand? When did you begin to gain understanding like, oh, she's talking about something else?
I I don't think I thought about it until my 20s. Like I just didn't know. Like I didn't think about what the lyrics were. And then there was one day I was listening to the song. I said, "What in the world? What did she say? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me understand what we talking about here." And I was like, "Oh, that's why my mom was like, no. You will not walk around this house talking about."
You're a private dancer, dancer for money.
Yeah.
Do what
What
you
you
want.
want me to do, you will not. Oh,
Wow, that's an excellent one. And we send love and energy to Tina Turner because she it'll be a year in May that she passed last year.
so amazing. She's amazing. Rock star.
Yes, definitely, definitely that. She's a great example of no matter what happens to you,
Yes.
don't play the victim role. You can move on. And I'm not saying what happened to her is not valid. I'm saying the story that I received from her life
Yeah.
is yes, I went through this,
Mhm.
but I'm still moving forward with life.
Yes. Yes.
So
And I love
te-
that.
that I love that you even gave that example of the song. So wow. So while we're in again our lane of music and songs, let's talk about a particular song that you had the opportunity to purchase on your own. Meaning, yes, you may have gotten birthday money, Christmas money, or whatever, but
Yeah.
nobody influenced you. You're like, ooh, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to get. Can you identify a song or a artist or something in that arena?
Yeah. So I really I was like, what was that for me? And I think it was a cassette. I went and got a cassette of Mariah Carey because I remember hearing "Someday," when she first came out, she was up the little and I was like, I love how she sounds, and I think that was the cassette. I went and got that cassette.
Wow. Shout out to Mariah Carey. You have been the first one that has mentioned her. So
Thank
I
you.
bow to you on that one. And give me a particular song that really, of course, you bought the whole album. I'm pretty sure you like it, but something
Yeah.
that you can share with us, a particular song and the lyric of the particular song.
So from that first album is it's the song called "Someday," like where she hits that really high note. And I think um let me see a specific because it's a little love song.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, like now I'm like looking at these lyrics, it's not really for a child.
Well, the majority, remember, perspective, it was
Yeah.
from our perspective.
Yes. I think for me, just probably just the chorus, like someday, um, the one you gave away will be the only one you're wishing for.
Mm.
You're gonna pay maybe I'm the one who's keeping score. So
Mm,
it's a funny, like when, as an adult, it's a funny lyric to read and ponder on that I'm singing. As a kid.
yes.
But I do think that all of those love songs, I loved love songs and did even, as a child. So that song was great.
I like that. I really do like that. You gave Mariah and you gave that perspective. Um, One of the questions that I propose to you, um, can you tell me what you've learned far as wisdom? If you take everything and you package it up and you put your secret sauce on it, what
Mhm.
can you share with the world that has been so impactful to you that you want to share from your perspective?
So I I think the thing from my perspective that I feel is wisdom has come from my grandmother, who is 93 years old, and she is still living in her own apartment, just, engaged in her senior community. and and she always instilled in myself and my other cousins, and that it's okay to be yourself. And in fact, not just okay, but embrace who you are, and don't shift yourself or change yourself to fit into the molds of other people. And of course, as we grow up, sometimes we do make some shifts, and then you come back to be like, okay, like, I let me be my authentic self, because that's really who people connect to. And so she always encouraged me to just be myself. And if it's music, if it's, whatever it is that I'm into, she's like a cheerleader, like so much enthusiasm, just so much love. And I want to be that for others. My enthusiasm might not be as boisterous as hers, and it's still there. So I want to cheer people on in their journey. And that's really what my career and my passion has been, is just about understanding where people are in their journeys and cheering them on, and seeing those aha moments when people are able to have those breakthroughs, and they're like, this is the path I need to be on. And so, yeah, just be yourself. And if you're not sure who that is, take time to sit with yourself and understand yourself, and think, and don't judge, but just be curious about the things that we do. Don't beat ourselves up like, oh, I can't believe we did this in this way. But we can turn that into curiosity, like, I wonder why I do this in this way. Let me think. So yeah, be yourself and embrace your uniqueness, because there isn't anybody, where there's no duplicate of us out there.
That's
E-
right.
Even for those, that have children, there's still no duplicate of us as individuals. So how do we embrace that and make that the thing that helps us shine in this world? So,
Yes, I love that. I love that. Now, that's a top tier wisdom that your grandmother provided, and we bless her for blessing you that you are able to share it with all of us because someone needs to hear that. I resonate with that wholeheartedly. It was times that I love to smile, I love to engage, and I remember someone said to me, "You're always smiling about something. Don't you get tired of smiling?" And
mm,
I'm like, no, that's naturally who I am. But when I sat back and I watched, that person didn't know how to smile.
yep,
So it was their issue
yep,
projected to me. They were trying to figure me out, but how they brought it to me, they made it my issue or tried to make it my issue.
yep,
So that goes back to being you no matter what, And
Mhm.
I love that she poured that wisdom into you about being yourself. So,
Yeah.
so I just want to say that I have had a absolutely fabulous time talking to you. And before we get out of here, I have a couple of more questions. And one of the things or question about music is high elevation music,
Mhm.
meaning when you, for example, if you go to a restaurant and somebody is singing happy birthday, they're going, happy birthday to ya. Happy, get it, girl. And
Yeah.
when you see that, you may not know the people, but they've joined in. They're singing a song before they leave. They say happy birthday. You might be high fiving them. Now y'all family. They like, oh, we're gonna be here now. I mean, it really connects everybody.
Mhm.
I say all that to say, can you identify a song that has high elevation that you either participated in with a crowd setting or you were able to observe and you're like, ooh, and just by watching, you're like, yes, they get it, they're having fun. Can you identify a song?
Yes. So that song for me is Celebration by Cool in the Gang. Cool in the Gang. So,
You're talking about celebrate good time. Come on.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yes. I think anytime that song is played, no matter where you are, if you hear it, everybody joins in that song with the woohoo. Like, there's it's almost like a call and response. And I just love that song. And I think it's if you hear it, you really, even if you're not in the best mood or you got things going on, if you hear that song, you're gonna, you're gonna bounce to the beat a little bit, if not join in and really get into it.
I love that you use that song again. Another first. You're the first one that said cool in the game. Number two, as you said that, think about how many movies, think about how many corporate events, think about how many sidewalk singing that people like. If you go to, have you been to Venice Beach before?
I have. Hmm.
And they have the little singers, that song would generate nothing but high elevation. Like it invites you in, like celebrate good time. Come on, like everybody, come on, let's come in and celebrate. So that's a wonderful one. And thank you for sharing. That's a great one. Now, before I have you to give all this wonderful information to my viewers, I do have one last one. We all have times in our life where sometimes things are just not right. I call it our tap in song.
Hmm.
With our tap in song, your mother's not available, your village or your community is not available. You must encourage you. What song do you tap in to pull your spirit up all by yourself? Now, later you may be able to, talk to whoever, but what do you choose to get your spirit up?
So that's a tough one because I think that I listen to all different kinds of music depending on the mood. And if I'm in a sad mood, I tend to listen to sad music because it allows me to be where I am, because we have to go through what we're going through, and not avoid it. However, there's a song, and it's a house. So I grew up in Jersey, so house music, listen. House music. There is a song called Follow Me, and it's just about liberation of our people, um and I really just love that song. And it reminds me of somewhat carefree times in the teenage years, like, going to the club and listening to house music. And so that one is one that I go to when I want to feel that uplifting, or carefree or have a nice memory. So,
I like that. Do you have some little lyrics of the song that you can share with us? So if someone wants to tap in and use that or to listen to it, they'll have access and know what it's about.
yeah, so the artist is Ali Us. It's like ALY-US, and it's a remix house song. And so the lyrics are, I hope to see the day when my people can all relate. We must stop fighting to achieve the peace that was torn in our country. We shall be free.
Mm,
Follow me, and the chorus is like, follow me. Why don't you follow me?
beautiful voice.
A place where we can all be free. So,
Wait, that's a clap, clap. I mean, she just stuck the so subtly. Beautiful voice.
thank you. So yeah, it's just about liberation and changing the way the world, and getting rid of hate, and so it's nice.
I love that. I love that. This has been so amazing. I have really enjoyed. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have.
Thank you so much. This is so fun. It's like I want to ask all these questions to you.
Well, maybe we can do it in a reverse role. We'll be like the questions that you guys all wanted to know. She get to ask,
Yeah.
and I get to talk about all those questions. But yeah, we'll have to set up. What I think that would be fun. It'll be something like what you didn't expect.
Yes. I'm like, I want to hear your tapping song and all that too.
Yes, ma'am. Well, before we get out of here, I would like you to share your social media handles if you have any way someone can contact you, and talk maybe again just a quick synopsis of your services that you offer, if you don't mind.
Yes, thank you. So again, my name is Renisha O'Donnell, and my sound and vibration services it's called Resonate to Reset. Because it's when we are resonating with ourselves, when the crystal bowls are resonating and that sound is connecting to our bodies and our minds. It is during that time that we can reset ourselves. So resonate to reset with the number 2. So the number 2 is my favorite number, but so resonate number 2 reset on Instagram and Facebook. I'm working on my social media, and it's the power of yet. Uh, I'm practicing my posting more often, and my website is resonate2reset.com. And so,
Awesome. I appreciate that. Do know that all that information that you just spoke of, I will make sure it's in the description box. So just in case they don't want to write it down, they can just drop the box down and have all of your contact information. I again cannot tell you how much I appreciate you saying yes. You met me one time. I was like, hey, blah, 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 blah. And it's just, again, it's a vibration, it's an energy. And you were like, yes. And you said it. So I was like, oh, yes, you just don't know. And I think I text you back the rest of the day. I was like, she said yes. So I so appreciate you. And before we get out of here, I just want to talk about something I share with my audience every time. I talk about the journey and the destination.
mm,
The journey is where we learn and where we grow. The destination is where we celebrate. I believe in celebration. We have to have that time where we stop, we pivot, we breathe, we say, oh, yes. But the key to it all is to get back into that journey and continue to learn.
yeah.
So I say all that to say, with my men, I salute them. With my women, I bow. So I bow to you, beautiful lady.
Thank you so much. This was such a pleasure to meet you and come on here and have this conversation. I know when we met, you started singing a song. I was like, "Oh yeah, let's sing."
We just connected. Yes, I just so appreciate you, and I can't wait to the next time you and I have a one-on-one conversation. And I know you kind of said some words, but I always allow my guests to have last words. So you kind of said something, but is there anything else you'd like to share? Anything that's on your heart?
Just thank you. I have so much gratitude for this experience and for you and for your love of people and connecting people and music. So I just appreciate you. So thank you for doing this and creating this community. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you and my audience. If you would please, by the end, at first you was, a new person. Now you're my sister, if you don't mind me calling you that. Is that okay? I can call you my sister.
Of course, of course.
Thank you. I appreciate you that. You guys, please put your hands together and thank my beautiful sister, Renisha O'Donnell. Yes. Thank you. And as I say to all my guests, I will see you out here in these Las Vegas streets.